Hello everyone, how are you all? Welcome to my channel Natural Biology. This is Shankar sir. In my previous class, I have completed about the structure of the digestive system in the first class. Then the second class means the lecture 2 about the mouth, vestibule, teeth and their structure. Also we have completed. Okay. Now we'll move forward to the parts of the digestive system or the digestive tract. And now we will discuss about the tongue. Okay, tongue structure and what is the function of the tongue. Okay, right. So this is about the structure of the tongue. As we know that the basic thing which we know, tongue is present in the buccal cavity. You can see the red colored diagram. This is the tongue which is present in the buccal cavity. Okay, okay, this is the tongue. Okay, let's see. This tongue is a thick muscular sense organ. A thick muscular sense organ. Okay, it is one of the sense organ out of 5. Helps in the identification of taste, as we know that. Okay, right. And it is made up of skeletal or voluntary muscle. Which type of muscles? The tongue is made of skeletal muscles or voluntary muscles. As we know that muscles are 3 types. Okay, skeletal muscles, non-skeletal muscles and cardiac muscle. So voluntary muscles or skeletal muscles make this tongue. And over the surface of the tongue, over its surface, there is a layer of epithelium which is called stratified squamous epithelium. Okay, so there is a stratified squamous epithelium layer which covers the total surface of the tongue. Okay, if it is a tongue, it is covered with a stratified squamous epithelium, and tongue is covered with a mucous membrane. Okay, it is covered with a mucous membrane. Over the epithelial layer, over the stratified epithelial layer, and there is a membrane which is called lamina propria. Lamina propria. It is a type of connective tissue, especially areolar connective tissue. Okay, later we will talk about that lamina propria. First, if you see the structure, the base of the tongue, this base of the tongue is connected with the throat region. Okay, it is connected with the base of the oral cavity or buccal cavity by a fold of skin. You can see the skin, okay, which is connecting the tongue with the base of the oral cavity. So that base is called lingual frenulum. What is that? Lingual frenulum. Have to remember. Okay. So lingual frenulum is a fold of skin which connect the tongue with its base. So here we can see the lingual frenulum. Okay. This is the region. Right. And if you see the tongue here structure, it can show the 2 divisions, 2 areas. Okay. The posterior region and this is the anterior region. And there is a V-shaped groove which is divide the tongue into 2 areas, anterior area and posterior area. So this is called, okay, this is called body and it is called base. Okay, body is anterior and it is posterior. Okay, so there is a deep V-shaped groove, sulcus terminalis. What is this? Sulcus terminalis. Okay, V-shaped groove. It is a V-shaped groove which can differentiate the tongue into 2 regions. Okay, anterior body, posterior base. Okay, that is important. Now, anterior part, whether it is posterior part, both are equally divided by one more deep groove. Okay, here there is a one more deep groove, this area, which is dividing the tongue into 2 equal halves. So that one is called foramen cecum. What is this? Foramen cecum. So foramen cecum divide the tongue into 2 equal halves. Okay, there is a, we can't see that line, but if you see very clearly, we can observe that division. Okay, right. And over the surface of the tongue, whether here or here or wherever it is, there is epithelial layer. Which type of epithelium? Stratified squamous epithelium. Over the stratified squamous epithelium, and there is a connective tissue layer, especially areolar connective tissue layer. That areolar connective tissue layer is called lamina propria. I am drawing this layer as a horizontally. So this is like a single membrane which is present over the surface, and this lamina propria, okay, or okay, areolar connective tissue layer shows many elevations and depressions. These projections are called papillae. What are these projections? Simple terms, we can tell that the projections of lamina propria on the surface of the tongue are called papillae. Clear? Now, in these papillae, taste buds are present. What are the taste buds are present in these papillae? These are the taste buds. How many taste buds are present over the surface of the tongue? That is nearly about 10,000. Okay, how many? Nearly about 10,000 taste buds present on the surface of the tongue. Okay, clear? Now, these papillae or papilla. Papilla is a plural, singular form. Okay, papillae, plural form. Okay, in singular, what we can write? Singular form, papilla. This is a singular form. And papillae, plural form. These four are present now. Then we can use the term papillae. Circumvallate papillae, fungiform papillae, foliate papillae, and filiform papillae. Okay. We can see where these are located. First one, A. These large roundy structures at the base of the tongue. Okay. The large roundy structures at the base of the tongue are called circumvallate papillae. Okay. Here we can see these are the circumvallate papillae. One. Okay. Understood? If you see this structure, this circumvallate papillae, it is nearly 1 to 2 millimeter in diameter. 1 to 2 millimeter in diameter. Its size I am talking. If we talk their number, how many present? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So 12. So they are nearly 8 to 12 in number. If we talk about the number, they are less in number, just about 8 to 12. And each papillae having a 1 to 2 millimeters of diameter. And these are the largest. I have arranged these papillae in such a way, okay, these are in the ascending order. Means these are the smallest papillae, and these are the largest papillae. These are small, somewhat large, and these are the largest. Okay, so ascending order: large, somewhat small, then the smaller, very small. Okay, right. Circumvallate papillae. Come to fungiform papillae. Fungiform, their structure is resemble like a fungus, mushroom. Okay, so these are called fungiform papillae. You can see anterior these dots. Okay, in the anterior dots are called fungiform papillae. Okay, fungiform papillae. In the anterior, you can also see your tongue in front of the mirror. If you open the tongue, we can see small red color dots. Okay, so that are called fungiform papillae. Okay, which type of papillae? Fungiform papillae. Right. This helps in identification of sweet and salt taste. Whereas circumvallate papillae, these are vallate papillae. This helps to identify a bitter taste. Which type of taste? Bitter taste. Okay. Now come to foliate papillae. Okay, foliate papillae are present at the sides. Okay, lateral sides. These are the areas where foliate papillae are present. Okay, and the total surface of the tongue is covered with filiform papillae. Okay, these are large roundy structures, these are small roundy structures, and fungiform complete. Foliate papillae, these are leaf-like structures. whereas filiform papillae, small, these are thread-like structures. Thread-like structures. Okay, large rounded structures, if you talk about their structure, small rounded structures, large rounded structures, and foliate papillae are leaf-like, and these are thread-like. Okay, thread-like papillae. Clear about their structure, and they help in identification of bitter taste. This foliate papillae helps in identification of sour taste, whereas filiform papillae identification of which type of taste? Filiform papillae. This, there is no taste. Okay, no taste identification, because the only papillae which do not have taste buds are filiform papillae. So this point is highlighted. Okay, so we have to remember filiform papillae do not have taste buds. Okay, clear? And they present total surface of the tongue. This is giving shape, structure, okay, support to all other papillae. Okay, these are covered by the entire surface of the tongue. Filiform papillae do not have taste buds. These question can be framed. Okay, can be asked as a question. Which among the following papillae do not have taste buds? Okay, option A, circumvallate, fungiform, foliate, and filiform. What is your answer? Filiform papillae. Now, one more important point, in human beings, these foliate papillae are absent. Human beings, these foliate papillae, okay, which type of papillae? Foliate papillae are absent. This point also we have to remember, that are present in the rabbit and other mammals. Okay, so the functional papillae in the human being means the papillae which have taste buds and they are functional are circumvallate and fungiform papillae only, because human being do not have foliate papillae. Even we have filiform papillae, but there are no taste buds. So this point you have to understand. Okay, right. Now, between the surface of the papillae, okay, between two papillae, there is a taste bud. We can see the diagram of the taste bud here. Okay, taste bud consists of three kinds of cells. It is made up of three kinds of cells. Okay, supporting cells, gustatory receptor cells, and basal cells. Okay, how many types of cells? Three types of cells: supporting cells, gustatory receptor cells, and basal cells. You can see supporting cells which can occupy nearly 50% of the cells. Okay, so these gustatory cells, receptor cells, and supporting cells may be 50-50%. Okay, we can see the diagram like long cells. Okay, like columnar epithelial cells. Even these gustatory receptor cells are modified columnar epithelial cells. Modified columnar epithelial cells, and even having a cilia. Okay, all the gustatory cells opens outside through a taste pore. Okay, the anteriorly there is a pore through which, okay, the food which contains saliva, it enter into the taste bud. Now the gustatory cells receive the signals. Okay, taste receptors. These are nothing but taste receptors. Gustatory receptors receive the signal, and these gustatory receptor cells only convert the physical or chemical nature of the food into nerve signals. So which type of food is getting, which type of taste it is. Okay, it is received by the taste buds, especially gustatory receptor cells. Then they convert into nerve signals. At the base of the cell, basal cells are present. Okay, these basal cells are like a stem cells. Okay, if, as you know that these gustatory receptor cells have a lifespan of only 10 days. How many days? 10 days only. It will be replaced by these basal cells. Okay, they are like stem cells. Totipotent, not totipotent. It's stem cells. It can gives to these gustatory receptor cells and supporting cells. Okay, supporting cells are produced from the basal cells. Later, the supporting cells can be modified into gustatory receptor cells. These both are modified columnar epithelial cells. Clear? So that is the taste buds. Now, from each taste bud, there is a nerve, afferent nerve will start and it carry the information, taste related information to the brain. Okay. Now, the tongue is associated with 5 types of nerves. How many types of nerves? 5 types of nerves. I will write here the 5 types of nerves. Just no need to information because it is not given in the NCERT, but also just we should have a knowledge. Okay. So whatever the information is giving here, that is enough. Okay. From the NCERT book, it is more than the NCERT book. Remember that. Okay. The nerves which is supplied with the tongue are facial nerves. Facial nerve. As we know that 7th cranial nerve. Glossopharyngeal nerve. It is a 9th pair. Okay. Vagus nerve. It is a 10th cranial nerve. Okay. And also hypoglossal nerve. It is the last pair, 12th pair. And one more is the trigeminal nerve. These are the 5 nerves which associated with the tongue, okay, which helps in the movement of the tongue, or maybe helps in the mixing. Okay, just if you remember the nerves, that is enough. Okay, not more than that. Okay, remember that facial nerve, it is the 7th pair of cranial nerve, glossopharyngeal 9th cranial nerve, and vagus nerve 10th cranial nerve, hypoglossal 12th cranial, and trigeminal 5th cranial nerve. So this is the nerve supply to the tongue, okay, which helps in the further functions. Then what are the functions of the tongue, sir? Finally, okay, we will talk about the functions. Functions of the tongue. As we know that tongue helps in the taste, okay, this everyone knows that. So it helps in the identification of taste, okay, and also it helps in mixing the food with saliva. Okay, it gives shape to the food, shaping the food. Okay, mixing and shaping the food. It helps in deglutition. Deglutition is nothing but swallowing. Because after the formation of bolus in this buccal cavity, tongue pushes the food into the next part. So that is called swallowing. So tongue also helps in the swallowing. And one more point, okay, it helps in speaking. Speaking is nothing but language. It converts the voice into language. Without tongue, you don't move your tongue. Try to speak. The voice is coming from the vocal cords, but the voice can be converted to language by only tongue. Okay, it will rotate the voice. Then we can speak. So it also helps in speaking. So these are the functions of the tongue. Okay, it helps in the identification of taste, mixing of food and shaping the food, and helps in the deglutition, swallowing. Then also it helps in speaking. So these are the functions of the tongue. So this is about overall structure and functions of the tongue. Okay. Once we have a short recap. So tongue is a thick muscular sense organ made up of voluntary or skeletal muscles. Okay. Also there is a over surface of the tongue. There is a stratified squamous epithelium over the squamous epithelium, and also there is a membrane which is called lamina propria. Lamina propria shows many elevations and depressions. So these elevations or projections are called what? Papillae. Okay, we can see the mat, how the threads will be arranged, but it look like a plain, okay, flat surface. But when we observe very clearly the doormat, it shows many thread-like structures. In the same way, surface of the tongue also made up of many projections of lamina propria that are called papillae. There are 4 types of papillae we have learned. Okay, anterior fungiform papillae, sides which are foliate papillae, and total surface filiform papillae, at the base circumvallate papillae, largest papillae. Okay, based on their size, circumvallate are largest. Thereafter fungiform. Thereafter which one? Foliate. Finally filiform are smaller. Okay, in human being, which papillae are absent? Foliate papillae are absent. In human beings, which papillae do not have taste buds? Filiform papillae do not have taste buds. Okay, right. And there are 4 types of taste, as we have already discussed: sweet, salt, bitter, and sour. Okay, and there is a 5th type of taste also, which is called umami. Okay, what is the 5th taste? 5th taste is umami. Okay, umami is a type of taste, like it is a which is available in the seafoods. Okay, seafoods, protein rich foods like mutton, chicken, fishes, different types of fishes, and especially nowadays we can see this type of taste in the Chinese food items, fried rice, noodles. Okay, likewise there is a special type of taste, you can call yummy taste, that is due to a chemical which is called MSG. Okay, it is available in the form of monosodium glutamate. Monosodium glutamate, MSG, which gives this type of taste, that is called umami. Okay, then the nerves which are connected with the tongue are facial nerves, glossopharyngeal nerves, vagus nerve, hypoglossal nerve, and trigeminal nerves. Okay, and functions of the tongue helps in the identification of taste, mixing of the food, and also it gives shaping the food and helps in deglutition and swallowing and speaking and language. Okay, these are the functions of the tongue. Now there is one more important point. Okay, because as we have already learned that the parts, okay, is completed. The next part, pharynx. What is the next part? Pharynx. This is the oral cavity. Till now we have completed the entry point, mouth, and the area, large area, which is called buccal cavity or oral cavity. In oral cavity we have discussed about the palate, teeth, different types of teeth, and tongue. Palate, teeth, tongue we have completed. Okay, now we will go to the next part of the alimentary canal, that is pharynx. Here this is the pharynx. What is that? Pharynx. Pharynx also, it is a muscular tube. It is a muscular tube which is made up of voluntary muscles. This is completed now. Again you feel it is a pharynx. Otherwise I will write this here. Next part, pharynx. Right. This pharynx also a muscular. It is also made up of voluntary muscles. Voluntary muscles. A muscular tube. Okay, like vertical canal. Vertical canal. Okay, vertical canal of nearly 12 centimeters length. How much centimeters? It extends from here to here, 12 centimeters in length. Okay, it is like conical shaped tube. Okay, conical shaped like ice cream. Okay, the cone shaped tube. Okay, that is called pharynx. Okay, it is also lined with the mucous membrane. Pharynx also lined with mucous membrane. It starts with, from where to where it is extended. So it extended from internal nares. Internal nares are nothing but the opening of the nostril, nasal cavity. This is the nasal cavity. These are the openings of the nasal cavity, which are called internal nares. Okay, a pharynx is a muscular tube. Okay, triangular tube or like conical shaped tube. Okay, which extend from the internal nares. These are the internal nares. Internal nostrils also we can call. Internal nostrils. Okay, internal nostrils. From here, internal nostrils to here. Means in the lower surface, what we have? This is the opening of gullet, epiglottis. Internal extend from internal nares to glottis, and gullet. So pharynx is a muscular tube which extends from internal nares to here. Okay, this is the opening of glottis. So the pharynx extends from the internal nares to the opening of respiratory tract. This is a trachea. It is called glottis. And this is the opening of digestive tract. This is called gullet. So it extends from internal nares. I will write these also. What are these? Internal nares. Internal nares to glottis and gullet. So that is the area of the pharynx. Okay. Now this pharynx shows three different regions. There are three different areas in the pharynx. Of course, it is a tube. It also shows the three different areas. Okay. The first division is called nasopharynx. What is mean by nasopharynx? The area. This is the area. I am writing the divisions here. You can see the clear divisions. This area, this total area, which is very near to the nasal cavity or the internal nares, that area, nothing but upper area. Okay. This is the upper part of the pharynx is called nasopharynx. Okay. Then the area which is directly opposite to the oral cavity, okay, that is called oropharynx. This is opposite to oral cavity. Then come to laryngopharynx, the area which is very near to the larynx. Okay, that is called laryngopharynx. Near to laryngopharynx, and it is the lower area, lower part. It is the middle part. Okay, so upper part is called nasopharynx. Okay, and the middle one is called oropharynx, and the downwards lower part is called what? Laryngopharynx. Okay, so these are the three anatomical divisions in the pharynx. This is the pharynx. This is the tubular structure. Have no role in digestion. It is not involved in digestion. There is nothing digestion occurs in the pharynx region. Just it is a common passage of food and air. It is a common passage of food and air. Okay, so but you remember nasopharynx only it is a passage of air. So this point is important. Here only air is present, food is not present. Food is not coming through the nasal cavity. Food passes from the oral cavity, then enter into oropharynx. So nasopharynx only the passage of air, but oropharynx is the passage of food and air. Okay, food and air. Do you understand? Right. Nasopharynx has two openings of a special tube which come from the middle ear. Okay, middle ear. This is the middle ear, auditory canal, and here there are three chains of bones present in the ear. So there is a tube comes from the ear. The name of the tube is called Eustachian tube. This Eustachian tube, okay, a oval shaped opening of the Eustachian tube found in this nasopharynx here, okay, from the both sides. Ear tube, which is called Eustachian tube, which helps to maintain the air pressure. It maintains the balance of the air pressure outside and inside. Okay, so that opens into nasopharynx. So this is point important. In which among the following eustachian tube will be open? Nasopharynx, oropharynx, laryngopharynx, all the above. Answer will be nasopharynx. Right. One more point. There are special type of lymphoid tissues. Lymphoid tissues are present. Okay. These lymphoid tissues are called tonsils. What are these? Tonsils. So these tonsils also present. Okay. Tonsils also present at the total lining of the buccal cavity. Here I am drawing this is the buccal cavity. Okay. This is the pharynx region. Here the lymphoid tissues are present. A special type of lymphoid tissues are present. So these lymphoid tissues which are present in the nasopharynx, near to the nasopharynx, are called adenoids. Adenoids are pharyngeal tonsils. Pharyngeal tonsils. Okay. Pharyngeal tonsils are adenoids. Special type of lymphoid tissues present in the nasopharynx. Right. Even here the eustachian tube will open. Okay. Beside the eustachian tube, inside the mucous membrane, there are also special type of lymphoid tissues are present. So these are called tubal tonsils. Tubal tonsils. Okay. Now, in oropharynx also, this is the oral region. So this is the oral region. Here also the pair of lymphoid tissues are present. So these are called palatine tonsils. Palatine tonsils. Okay, where palatine tonsils are present at the base of the soft palate, adjacent to the soft palate, sides of the soft palate. Okay, which type of tonsils are present? If they are present at the base of the or sides of the palate, lateral side of the palate, then called palatine tonsils. Okay. Even at the base of the tongue, this region, I will draw here, base of the tongue also, special type of lymphoid tissues are present. These called lingual tonsils. Lingual tonsils. Okay. This almost all the tonsils shrink with the age. Okay, especially pharyngeal tonsils are adenoids. Okay, after the age of 5 years, they go decreasing, shrink in size. By the age of adolescence, completely it will disappear. Okay, because these are very active at the age of adolescence to receive by the food which is receiving contain bacteria, microbes. So that will be killed by these tonsils, because these are the parts of the lymphoid tissues. They produce specific type of antibodies. Okay, almost all the tonsils shrink with the age. Okay, right, clear. So these all the tonsils in the buccal cavity, okay, buccal cavity or oral cavity look like a ring. Okay, they are making in the shape of ring. So this type of ring is called Waldeyer's ring. What is the ring name? Scientist name Waldeyer. Waldeyer's ring. All the tonsils of the throat or the pharynx or the oral cavity arranged in the shape of a ring. So this shape of ring is called Waldeyer's ring. Okay. Remember, pharyngeal tonsils, tubal tonsils, palatine tonsils, and lingual tonsils. Okay. Present here. This is the region. Okay. So this is about the structure of the pharynx. Okay, here there is no digestion. It is a common passage of air and also food. Okay, right. Come to at the base, laryngopharynx, which is near to the larynx, lower part. Okay, here the opening of the respiratory tract. This is called a trachea. And its opening is called glottis. The glottis is protected with a leaf-like structure. So this one is called epiglottis. Epiglottis. glottis. As we know that this is the glottis, this is the glottis opening, and there is a leaf-like structure which close the glottis. So above the glottis, epiglottis. So epiglottis opens when we breathe. It closes when we are swallowing. Okay, during the swallowing, when the food is entered here into the pharynx, this will close the glottis, then which is not allowing the food into the respiratory tract, then directing the food into the esophagus. Okay, it is directing the food into the esophagus. The opening of esophagus is called a gullet. This gullet is protected with a sphincter that is called esophageal sphincter. Which type of sphincter? Esophageal sphincter. Sphincter is a muscular ring. Sphincter is a muscular ring which controls the opening, which allows the food into the next part. Okay, so the beginning of the esophagus, okay, is called a gullet, and it is protected with a esophageal sphincter. Okay, so right, this is about the pharynx. Hope you understand about the structure of tongue and also pharynx. Okay, in the next class we will continue with the esophagus, stomach, okay, and intestine. Okay, thank you. If you like these classes, just encourage me, subscribe the number, okay, subscribe the channel, try to improve the number of subscribers. I am very happy with these existing subscribers. Okay, already 1,000 and subscribers are there. Very thank to all the 1,000 subscribers. Keep supporting me, keep loving the classes, listen the classes, and try to improve yourselves. So don't miss NEET rank at any cost. Okay, do your best. I will try to do my level best. Thank you.